A silly little piece of metal attached to the waist, singing a silver song. The vibrations that emanate from the hip pocket are electric, sending out proud waves of agency and capability. Not just a piece of functional hardware, but an accessory that holds the key to unlocking a community. A symbol of identity and belonging, a queer and lesbian flag, the carabiner. The carabiner was invented as a climbing aid back in 1911 by the German inventor and climber Otto Rambo Herzog. There he is. Anyway, he invented it as a mountain climbing connector to hold a free-running rope and a tool for bearing a heavy load. Little did Rambo know the heavy social load the carabiner was soon to carry for lesbians worldwide. Let's fast forward to the 1960s. Picture this. If you're a woman, you're probably not working. Your husband's out winning that bread while you stay home and cook and clean and bear children. You know the drill. But if you are, you're probably what was labelled an unskilled worker. As a typist or a shop assistant, high heels and a statement lip mandatory. But wait, what if you were a lesbian? I don't know if you've heard, but lesbians don't have husbands. Usually. Anyway, suddenly you're thrust into the role of sole breadwinner who needs to work to make ends meet. Chances are you're a feminist, and for the sake of my story, let's say you're also a little butch. Maybe you're not super into the idea of becoming a secretary or a stewardess. Maybe you're drawn to a more blue-collar, labour-intensive job, like being a postal worker or a mechanic. Okay, yeah, I've decided you're a mechanic. A hot mechanic. A hot mechanic who needs easy access to a lot of different keys during the workday. There you go. You see what I'm getting at. You're a big old lesbian mechanic with a big old ring of keys on your belt. As time progressed, this became more of a common story, and the set of keys swinging from the hip pocket of women who looked a little different than what people were used to began to gain a bit of traction. If you saw a woman with keys on her belt back then, you could safely assume she had a fair dose of agency and capability. And by agency and capability, I hope it's clear that I mean homosexuality. This was the moment in time that the trend started to be recognised as a discreet signal for closeted, blue-collar queer women. As a result of the gay liberation movement, the symbol only continued to grow, and by the 80s, more and more lesbians and queer people began to feel comfortable to sport the carabiner as a proud flag of their sexuality. It even served as somewhat of a straight man repellent. Now we just bleach our eyebrows. It was also a great way to identify other women with similar interests. Bear in mind, this was before you could easily match with queer singles on Tinder and ask for their birth chart from the comfort of your own couch. The carabiner even began to be used as a tool to signify the wearer's sexual preference in the bedroom. If you wore it on the left, it meant you were a top. On the right, a bottom. Much simpler than the comparable hanky code that was popular amongst gay men in the 80s. If you wore a navy hanky in the left pocket, it meant you were a top. On the right, a bottom. Some other highlights? An orange hanky means that you're up for anything, anywhere, anytime. Leopard print hanky if you like men with tattoos. Yellow if you're into water sports. I don't quite get that one. Red with a white stripe on the right, shaver. On the left, shavey. Mauve on the left, devout belly button worshipper. Not to be confused with the ever so slightly different shade of purple, which, if worn on the right, signifies that you want to be pierced. Important to clarify. Anyway, I digress. Let's skip forward to the 90s, where carabiners took a turn into occupying bike and skate culture. Bikers used to wear them to keep their keys from vibrating out of their 501s and onto the pavement. Possibly the same for skaters. I don't know. If it's not gay, I'm not really paying attention. This brings me to my next historically significant event in 2006. I'm sure you've heard of Alison Bechdel. She's a queer cartoonist and activist, and she's also the namesake of the Bechdel test. Her graphic memoir, Fun Home, features an illustration depicting a formative experience of hers as a young girl, spotting a ring of keys out in the wild in the 60s. It was the first time she had seen someone who dressed the way she felt, and they didn't seem ashamed of it. This illustration went on to inspire a song called Ring of Keys in a musical based on the book, which in turn received a lot of attention from the queer community and further cemented the carabiner as a widely recognised symbol for lesbians. Over the last few decades, the carabiner has gained widespread popularity as a fashion item, not only being worn by the married lesbian couple at the community garden and they-thems on the bouldering wall, but even by Gen Z TikTokers who are flocking to hardware stores across the globe to engage with the sought-after trend. The offering today is broad and varied. There are big ones, small ones, silver ones, colourful ones, ones with a multi-tool, ones attached to a cup, diamond-encrusted ones. So many to choose from, but choose carefully. A carabiner can speak volumes. It's like they say,
the bigger the carabiner.
I don't really know where we were going with that one, but what does your carabiner say about you? No, actually, what do you say about your carabiner?
I wear it if I want to make a good entrance or if I want to intimidate people.
I used to wear it on my belt loop as a baby gay.
Like bus drivers, right? It's like the homosexual nod.
I feel like it became a massive joke.
It makes me feel connected to an identity.
It's like I see you, you see me, and it's our little secret.
So, let's pay homage to our butch predecessors who endured persistent discrimination in the late 20th century simply for living honestly and authentically. Let's give a round of applause for their courage, the same courage that allows us to reclaim this accessory today. An accessory that once carried the weight of a time gone by, but now provides those who wear it a community and sense of belonging. So next time you clip your keys to your belt loop with your trendy carabiner, remember that it's much more than that. You're wearing a flag of agency and capability.